So happy to have Chef Thompson Tran back with us, founder and the executive chef of the Wooden Boat Food Company. Doing so well, he's actually moved to Ontario, so we're happy to have you back here on the West Coast. I know you're just visiting, but we figured it was a good time to get you in.
I'm happy to be back, for sure. It's a different place, but, you know, both places have, you know, their positives, so.
And so you're here for the Christmas show this weekend, and you are also at the Great Chowder Cook-Off on Wednesday at the Vancouver Aquarium.
Yes, so this weekend, all weekend, is the West Coast Christmas show out in Abbotsford TradeX. And then, of course, Wednesday, and that's why we're here, talking about ocean-wise recommended sustainable seafood. And so we're doing the 10th annual Ocean-wise Chowder Chowdown. So all the stars for the last 10 years, everybody who's won is competing for the big grand prize.
All right, so you won last year with your beer and chowder pairing.
That's correct.
And you're switching it up this year with a Vietnamese chowder.
No, you know, last year was also Vietnamese, because that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm here to kind of.
But I don't think of chowder in Vietnam, though, because when we were there, I had my pho. I didn't have chowder, so I'm like, okay, this is a little weird for me.
I know. So if we're talking about pho, which I really love that he pronounced it pho, not pho. So we're looking at different spices, right? So in Vietnamese cuisine, we've got a lot of fresh, citrusy, you know, umami. Yeah, a ton of fish sauce as well. So what I do is I impart that kind of personality into my chowder. And so chicken feet. People are like, what's chicken feet? Chicken feet adds a lot of collagen, a lot of body to your stock. And so when you're making a clam chowder, you're looking for things like body. You're looking for a different flavor profile. And so I actually impart all of my flavors in here. I basically put organic chicken bones, or if you're doing sustainable seafood. Oh, yeah, and this chicken was actually given to me by a good friend of mine, Taryn from the Little Butcher in Port Moody.
Nice.
I basically put my seafood, chicken, beef, bones, whatever I'm doing, just in a pot, add water. You basically bring it up to a boil. You take one of these bad boys and you just skim. That's it. And then at the last 2 hours, you put things like coriander seeds. You can put black cardamom, which is often in pho. You can also put star anise, and then I let it go. That's it. That's as easy as it gets.
But this won't. Are we still going to need to use starch or?
Yes. So
thickening agent?
Yeah. So if we're talking about chowder, we're always talking about things like, again, like a base. So the base is, of course, the chicken stock. That gives a lot of flavor. And then basically what I do for, thank you very much, Lynn. You're a pro. So
the controller of the oven.
Exactly. So most people know chowder. You know, you start off with your base. So you've got shallots. So it's pretty loud, isn't it? So I'll do a little bit of shallots, which is basically onions. I've got a little bit of oil in there, but you can use butter as well.
Jay, I don't know if you realize that Chef Thomas is using the same technique that Karen taught us in Onions 101 cooking. So, yes.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Well, we can't remove the root at the back.
Don't remove the root.
Don't.
Keep it all in peace.
All these little techniques, right?
So, love it.
How do you go about selecting which fish stock you're going to use?
Good. So we're gonna get to that right now. So if we're looking at, again, flavoring our clam chowders, again, using sustainable seafood. If you're looking at things like umami-packed fish sauce, so if you don't have a bottle in your fridge or in your shelf, you should. When picking fish sauce, again, it's basically made from anchovy extract, just salt, anchovies, that's literally it. You choose, number one, the size of your bottle. Are you going to use a lot? You're going to use a little bit. It's like salt and soy sauce, so you end up using very little.
So this could last us a couple of years.
Actually, you could. And it would last that long. So, and you know, so you choose the size. Number two, you choose the best quality one that doesn't have additives and preservatives. Just anchovy, salt, water, sugar.
Can it last that long? You open it, put it in the fridge, and you can keep it for that long? It's not going to go off?
Because the fish and the salt's already been sitting in the vat for 9-12 months in Thailand. So this one's from Philippines, we got Thailand, and we got Vietnam.
Okay.
So, and then this is actually the stuff that they take the fish and they macerate it. And then they put it in, so you get. So there's almost no garbage, basically, nothing thrown away. And then of course sriracha. Who doesn't know sriracha? And so I take all these influences and I put it into my chowder. So kind of while we're having the shallots and the garlic sweating away, I just add a little bit of flour, and this is your standard chowder. If I can just grab this.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Is this going to be a heavy chowder, though?
No. You know what? That's why I put very little flour.
Okay.
And so at this point, what I do is I take, and this is the secret, add a little bit at a time. If you add it all at the same time, this is clam stock. If you add it all at the same time, you're going to get what's called dumplings. You don't want dumplings. Now, this pot's a little bit big, the spoon's a little bit small, but you get the drift.
Right. You want to keep adding it small amounts so you don't get the big lumps.
Exactly. And then what you do is you add your potatoes, your other vegetables.
Right.
And then once it's come up to a boil, I add my cream. Yes, it's
and we're doing
full
cream. We're doing full-on cream.
It's full whipping cream.
Looks delicious.
Full whipping cream.
We're not going to complain.
No. And then you know what? You let it settle. You let it cook for a while. You can add a touch of fish sauce. And then so our Vietnamese dipping sauce, the NUOC Cham, we use fish sauce as a seasoning.
Okay.
And so
I can see why the bottle's lasting you for 2 years. That's only how much of it you're using.
You can see there's just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But the different regions, like say Vietnam, Cambodia, is it different, the taste, or are they similar?
You know what's actually different from company to company? So it doesn't matter if it's Philippines, Thai, or Vietnamese. It's all different.
Okay.
So it really is one of those things, it's trial and error. You try it out, you try to figure out what your favorite is. And so what I've done here for the chowder for today is manila clams. The word farmed seafood and farmed anything often has a really bad connotation, but guess what? It's very, very sustainable. So this is Oceanwise recommended. Again, Oceanwise is actually there to empower the consumer. You choose with your dollars the best sustainable local product that you can get. Otherwise, you can move forward. We don't make fish sauce here. No big deal. Right? Okay, so I've got some chowder already sitting on the burner.
Yes, you do.
And this is the chowder base. That's just your standard chowder. We got it in here. So in the bowl, I've got some clams that I steamed off. That's it. I took the broth and I put it in here. So inside, I've got taro root. I don't know if you guys ever tried taro root, but it's basically a starch. It's just like a root vegetable as well. It has a different flavor than potato, but I absolutely love it. And that's, again, another Vietnamese influenced product. Ingredient.
What was the bottle that Lynn was holding?
So that's NUOC Cham. That's Vietnamese dipping sauce. That's our
That's your
in-house
dipping sauce that you make.
It is. And so we sell at most major retailers across BC and Alberta. And we just, of course, have gotten into...
So we could use this with our salad roll.
Salad roll, cabbage. You can stir fry with it as well, but it's wonderful with dipping for dumplings and all the jazz.
So each of these three bowls have something different inside them.
So we've got fried shallots and ginger, and then we've got sriracha, straight up.
Is there mushrooms in this too?
There's also as well.
Okay, and this is the hot spicy one. Okay, I'm going to take the mushroom one.
I was going to say, you can take the hot spicy one.
No,
go for it. Give it a little stir. And again, you guys notice that the seafood is fresh.
Oh, so good.
Okay, so we've missed you. What do you miss the most about not being on the West Coast anymore?
Oh, the ocean, the mountains. That's definite. You take things for granted, but once you kind of come back, you're like, oh, I remember why I lived here.
This is delicious.
This is absolutely delicious.
Just
now, I
a little
like
hint
the
of
fact
lemongrass?
that you have 3 different suggestions out here. Good luck in the competition on Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
Keep us informed. We'll
Don't
let
be a
our viewers
stranger.
know next weekend how you did.
I'll knock on your door next week.
Please.
Yeah,
Okay.
please come back.
Okay.
Woodenboatfoodcompany.com is where you can get more information, and you can follow Chef Thompson on Twitter at FoodWoodenBoat. The annual Oceanwise Chowder Competition is happening at the Vancouver Aquarium this Wednesday, the 22nd of November at 7 o'clock at night. And you can catch him at the West Coast Christmas Show all weekend long. Sunday, tomorrow at 11 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, you can get tickets at West Coast Christmas Show. That's out at the Abbotsford Tradex this weekend. Thanks so much.
10 out of 10.
Delish.
Bravo.